told me he signed a 6-year contract, and I started laughing at him. I told him how stupid he was. I figured out that I also signed a 6-year contract. If you're about to join the military, then you need to make sure to watch this video. My name is Bryson Saunders, and I built a 6-figure business at 21 years old while serving active duty in the United States military. And today, I'm going to be telling you 3 different things that you need to do before you join the military, 3 important decisions to make so that you can set yourself up well financially for whenever you actually do join the military. And essentially, the first thing that I wrote down for this is picking the right branch. So I know a few people who unfortunately picked the wrong branch, and a lot of people always ask, Bryson, what is the best branch to join? And a lot of people by default think it might be the Air Force or the Coast Guard, and it's actually way more complex than that, but it's I'll break it down very simply for you. Every branch has a very unique benefit to it. Like I would say, for example, the United States Army has a ton of jobs. I think that they might actually be the branch that has the most amount of jobs out of all military branches. So they're very diverse, and they may have certain specific things that you want to do in the civilian world that they actually offer in the Army that no other branches offer. For example, I am in the United States Coast Guard. Typically, I don't tell people that, so that's a little secret for you. And we do not have a ton of jobs, but our jobs are very unique. So for us, we have machinery technicians. Those are our MKs. And that job equals like 8 different jobs in the Navy. So essentially, if you took all 8 of those jobs, rolled it up into one person, that would be an MK in the Coast Guard. So our jobs are a lot different than all the other branches. The United States Air Force, they have a lot of things in aeronautics, if that's what you want to do. I hope I used that word correctly. And so if you get my drift here, it kind of all just depends on what you want to do whenever you get out. Now, if you want to do 20 years, that thought process is a little bit different, but I would still base it off of what you want to do in the civilian world one day. Because I go ahead and tell you, the guy editing this video is in the Marine Corps. I'm in the Coast Guard. We both thought that we were going to do, well, he didn't. I thought I was going to do 20 years whenever I first joined the military, and now I'm just going to do my 6 years and get out. So don't go joining a branch based off of being like, I'm going to do 20, so let me make my decision off that. Make the decision based on the future and what job you're potentially going to do one day. So that's the way that I would personally decide what branch I want to join. And also just remember the kind of lifestyle that branch is going to provide for you too. Now, obviously the job kind of depends a lot. Like if you choose the infantry in the Army, you're going to have a lot different of a life than a dental specialist in the Army. Very different. For example, my friend who's editing this video, his name is Cody. I don't know why I just told you his name, but he is a combat cameraman in the United States Marine Corps, and his life is far different than a recon Marine or an infantry Marine. Very different. So also remember that whenever you think about quality of life and stuff like that. But I will still tell you, the United States Air Force and the United States Coast Guard definitely have the best qualities of life. There's no argument about that. But the job can change a lot of those things for you too. But like I said, just based on what you want to do one day as a civilian. The second thing you need to do is pick the right job. So as we just went down that whole rabbit hole with picking the right branch and how it really has to do with what job you want to do, picking the right job is very important. Now, for example, I am a maritime law enforcement specialist in the Coast Guard. It's a really cool sounding job. It's actually the most popular job in the United States Coast Guard from what I've gathered. And you know why? It's because they put really good advertisements out there about shooting guns, riding on boats, stuff like that. Thing they don't tell you is a little common sense, is if you do become an ME, one of the only jobs you can actually get whenever leaving is a police officer. And so a lot of people become MEs in the Coast Guard, but they don't actually want to be cops. It's a great job if you want to be a cop, but if you want to do something else, horrible job. And so those are things you need to remember whenever selecting your job. And I know most of the branches, whenever you go on, the Coast Guard's the only one I think that doesn't do it. You have to select your job before you actually enter that branch. So make sure you genuinely think about that. Go try to figure out what is the median salaries for the civilian equivalent of this job, because the military is going to provide you all the free training that you're going to need. They're going to give you actual accolades that you can put on a resume one day. Like I went to the Federal Law Enforcement Academy in Charleston. I could use that if I went and, try to get on with a law enforcement job. I could probably get picked up for a federal agency because I'm in the Coast Guard, but I don't want to do law enforcement, so it really doesn't even matter for me. So that's something really important to remember. My little brother's kind of going through that right now I think he was getting really drawn to picking like a cool job in the military. But like I said, you got to remember that cool job is only going to be for so long. who knows, you might do 4 years and get out and have a family one day, and you might want to make good money for your family, and maybe that cool job didn't set you up the way that you wish that it would have. So that is something to really think about, and don't let a recruiter talk you into it. Let them show you all the jobs that they have to offer, and then make your own decision based off of what you truly know, because at the end of the day, no one knows you better than you. So don't let someone else make that decision for you. And the third thing is signing the correct contract. And Cody editing this video and me talking to you right now can both speak from this, because we're absolute idiots. A funny story for you really quick is we were riding on the road one day and Cody had just enlisted in the Marine Corps. And I said, Cody, how long did you sign a contract for? And he told me he signed a 6-year contract. And I started laughing at him. I told him how stupid he was, the whole thing. I got back to my unit and I pulled up my contract just to, I was like, I'm pretty sure I signed a 5-year contract supposedly didn't exist whenever I enlisted. I don't think they still do. Maybe I'm wrong. I figured out that I also signed a 6-year contract. Do not sign a 6-year contract unless they're giving you like a $100,000 bonus, or you're trying to become a freaking Navy SEAL and they're like, you have to sign a 6-year contract. If that doesn't pertain to you, which most people it doesn't, do not sign the 6-year contract. The only time I would sign it is those two things. And for the whole bonus thing, essentially the way that I would figure out what enough of a bonus is for you to sign a 6-year contract is, whenever your friends ask you that question every once in a while, like, how much money would it take you to lick somebody's butthole? I don't know why I said that, but let's just say it's a question somebody asked you, and then you have an answer. Everyone's got a number except for me. And so that should be how it is with signing a 6-year contract. Whatever your number is to put down 2 more years of your life to the United States military and your freedom, that's your number. And do not wedge on that, because it is a very big deal on the contract length that you do sign. And that is the biggest problem that I see most people screw themselves over with, besides those other 2 things I just previously told you, is the contract lengths. Personally, I've loved my time in the military. Like I told you, I've built a 6-figure business. It's crazy. Life has been crazy for me. But the biggest thing that always pisses me off is the fact that I signed a 6-year contract. This June will be 5 years for me active duty, and it's just a drag at this point. I wish that I was just out in the civilian world, and I probably would have spoken a lot more highly about the military if I could have. I still do. Don't get me wrong about that. But it would have been a lot better if I could have just gotten out at 4 years. I think I would have been a lot happier with my time in as an active duty member. So just make sure you do not make that mistake, because you can always add time on your contract, but you can't deduct time unless you do something crazy. But if you want to see more videos like this about military within the financial world, then make sure to subscribe, and make sure you go click the link in my bio or the description if you want to get access to our completely free newsletter. Thank you so much. And let me know if you like the more uncordial, I don't know if that was the right verbiage, type of video where I'm just kind of talking to you and it's just kind of fun like this. Let me know.